Hello, everybody. It's my privilege to introduce to you, all the way from the south side of Chicago, the man, the myth, the legend, my Theo, your brother, the Southside Unicorn.
Hey, everybody. It's your boy Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. And I got my brother R Trio with us again. Our trio is in the house. And we're going to be discussing some things that are going on with Texas. Kind of curious about what's going on out there. Haven't talked to my brother in a while. I see him on Instagram often. You can see him on Instagram too. When I bring him on, you're going to be able to, hear his perspective, which is a very unique perspective on the issues of the day. Trio, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you just fine.
How you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm doing good. Staying healthy, try to stay COVID free, and everything's good.
There it is. There it is. So if the people wanted to get in touch with your show, because you do have your own show, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, you can go over to YouTube, type in our trio. They haven't banned me yet, so it's still up. And I'm on Facebook as well at R Trio7, and Instagram as well at R Trio7 as well.
Outstanding. Yeah, I love the work that you do. It's very interesting. I mean, some people would say it was Afrocentric or that it was, Black Power. I don't think I want to label your show or your information that way. How would you describe your show to the people?
I would describe my show as I'm all about the truth. So I like to research things and just give the truth to empower, the disenfranchised people of the world. So,
There's the word disenfranchised, which doesn't necessarily mean black, but oftentimes when you look at a disenfranchised person, they tend to be black, right?
correct.
Okay. So, brother, like I said, I couldn't wait to get in touch with you again. Been wanting to talk to you. Had some questions for you. Um, Without putting your political affiliation out there, or if you feel comfortable giving us your political angle, we'll take it. First question is, did you vote in the 2020 election?
Well, if anyone knows my political stance, I'm not Democrat or Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with I'm with the truth. So anyone who's is putting themselves out there to do anything that I feel is right, I will vote for. I
Okay.
didn't um, I didn't vote in the 2020 election because I didn't agree with I definitely didn't want to agree with everything Biden was saying. Um I agree with some things Trump say. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I feel he'd have been maybe better off than Biden in office right now because Biden, it seems like he's not all the way there in his head right now.
See, and that our trio is one of those things that endeared me to you. When it comes to these things, you do have a level head. You do, how can I say it, are able to discern what's really going on. You're spot on right about about Biden. I mean, something is going on with this man. This man's got some issues. Um, we're 180 days into this man's administration. Actually, we're 10 months in. With Biden being president and you having not voted for Trump or Biden, what is your take on the Biden administration and how it's affecting Black America thus far?
Well, I kind of got the same perspective that Malcolm X had back in the day. The
Hmm.
Democrats come into the black community, into the black churches. Want the votes of the black community, in which we do vote for them because it's kind of I don't know like okay, Republicans racist. That's the kind of mindset that we got in a lot of other neighborhoods. So we got a mindset that Republicans racist, so we automatically vote for Democrats.
Hmm.
But when you look down in the future, you see what I kind of asked the question: what has the Democrats done for us while they're in office? And from my perspective, I really haven't reaped any benefits of what the president has done for the black community. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Biden administration haven't done much. Just like
So okay, you know the old school grades we used to have in elementary school, right?
right.
What grade does he get from you right now?
I give him about a 65 for showing up.
Aha! So that means he fails. That because 65, that's failing, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Are you seeing any type of improvement in the communities post COVID? And I don't want to say post COVID because we're still dealing with it, but at least we're not on lockdown. So, how is the community going, in your opinion? Are you seeing people getting back to work? Is the African American community getting off his knee and getting up to get back in the game? What's going on out there in Texas?
Well, I hear in Texas what I'm seeing is a lot of people are getting back to work, but for the most part, it's not, I guess, where it should be because you have a lot of, I guess, businesses and everything
Hmm.
that pay way below what workers deserve to make. So a lot of workers decide it's not worth it to put their health at risk to go work for a company that's not willing to pay them enough money, which I can understand that.
Hmm. Hmm. So you're saying that not everybody's back to work, but it's not
No,
because there ain't no work.
no, it's not because it's not anywhere.
It's
Some
just
people is
mm,
deciding they don't want to work. Yeah, some people calling it lazy. Then me, I look at a perspective of both sides, so I can
mm-hmm.
understand why someone not willing to go out and work for a company for $10 an hour or $9 an hour. That's barely enough to make a living.
You say that's janky money, huh?
Right.
Okay. Well, that explains, some of what my concern was because I understand that people aren't going to work and whatnot, and that, are you seeing any shortages in the stores? Is it impacting people yet?
Oh yeah, it's shortages everywhere. When you literally can drive down the streets and see help wanted signs, it's not hard to find a job. And from what I've been hearing, just rumors, I'm hearing the trucking industry, real short on supplies, and they've been telling everyone they might need to start stacking up on things because they say it's not going to get any better anytime
Oh
soon.
no, they ain't got to stack back up on the toilet paper again, the TP, huh?
Hopefully, they don't overdo it again, huh?
Man, be looking like the Michelin man walking out the store. You got all this toilet paper and whatnot, and paper towels. I don't know, man. I ain't trying to get all graphic with it, but a wet rag will save you a whole lot of money. Just
Yeah.
saying, I'm just saying. So what is that? What is the average price of your gas right now? What are you looking at?
Um, they probably around like 360.
Oh man, okay, that's not bad considering we almost touching the $5 bill. We almost at the $5 bill out here in California.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know, huh? That's like, damn, where you going? You looking at your car going, I would run you over if I had some gas. We can't do nothing out here, man. It's pretty rough. Now I'm gonna slide into my next question with you, right? The elections are coming back up. We got the 2022 elections. A lot of congressional seats are going to be flying all around. Somebody gonna have the power, and somebody gonna have the pout. Do you see Texas going to the Democrats? Do you see it going left, or what's your opinion on that?
Well, my opinion, I feel Texas will always be a Republican state. Um, just from my experience, it always been red my whole life, and I really don't see it changing much. And I kind of like it that way because if I think it turned blue, they will force vaccines and everything. I'm not for forcing that, so I see it as staying red.
Well, see, now you just brought up a very, very good point, and I appreciate that. That's why I love having these conversations with you. You just said that you kind of glad that Texas is still somewhat under Republican control because you're not being forced to take the jab. Did I get you right?
Correct.
Okay. And as we see with New York City, over 70% of African Americans in New York City refuse the jab. And for doing so in a Democrat held area, they're also being refused services. Is that happening with any people in Texas right now?
Uh, for far as I seen, Greg Abbott got it to where they're not doing it. But I think, far as the statewide, they trying it, but some
It
people
ain't holding, huh?
it's not going down. And that's the
So
right way. That's the way it should be.
exactly, freedom, and by you guys being Texas, the home of the Alamo, I think you guys got this freedom thing on lock in your heads. You know what's up. You know how it's supposed to be. And speaking of freedom, again, another one of those choices for the show, for the conversation. Have you been jabbed, man? Did you take the jab?
No, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm a healthy person. I work out, eat right, try to take my vitamins as much as I can. So I feel pushing eating right and getting sunlight and exercising. I feel that is way more beneficial than getting the vaccine. And I haven't got sick. I haven't even been sick probably since I was a kid.
You look pretty good, man. I'm checking you out on the camera. You look like you bench pressing and running up and down the mountain like Rocky. Gonna fly now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you. I see what you're talking about. But pardon me. You don't hear any of the political officials saying that. They're telling us line up and get stuck. But you're saying keep some sunlight in you, keep a positive attitude, work out, and you should be good. I heard that if you do vitamin C and D3 and zinc and all that, it'll help reduce your chances of contracting COVID. Have you heard anything like that?
Yeah, yes, sir. I have. Me, I've been taking, vitamin C, vitamin D, sea moss as well.
What is? Whoa, I got to keep up with you. What's CMOS? What is that?
Well, sea moss is it's a natural herb, and don't quote me exactly for what I'm saying, but I think it's 97 minerals in it that your
Wow.
body needs, and like
I gotta
back in
write
the
this
day,
down. Hold on for a minute. C Moss. How do you spell it? Do you have the bottle with you that you can look at the proper spelling? Don't show the bottle, but do you have it with you where you can give us the right spelling?
yeah, yes, sir. Let me go get the proper way.
All right. Yeah, because I mean that's something like 97 minerals, y'all. 97. I mean, I don't know what it is, but with 97 minerals in it, it's got to be good. So that's something that we want to look into, because as you can see, my man, our trio is quite healthy. And if this sea moss is contributing to that, then we want some of that. We want some of that too. So how do you properly spell it? Don't show the bottle, but how do you properly spell it?
It's just regular sea moss, so it's CEA and
C E A
MOSS, just sea moss.
CEAMOSS.
Yes, sir.
Now, how did you acquire yours? Where'd you get it from?
Um, Me, I went on Amazon, so it's a lot of people out there selling it nowadays.
Hmm.
Since since it got a little popular in the mainstream, so you got a lot of people selling it, making up their own different batches. But the one I use is from Amazon. I usually do a little research on the company, see how good they are. That's usually how I find, my vitamins.
There it is. Okay, well, check this out. I'm enjoying having you on the show, brother. Hopefully, I can get you to stay for the next few segments. Do I have you here with me?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Outstanding. Let me go ahead and take this station break, brother, because we got to pay the bills around here. So we got to go for a station break. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back with our friend, our trio, with more questions. You're going to want to hear these. Go nowhere. We'll be right back after these messages. Hey, it's your boy Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. This is the second segment, and I am having a conversation with my friend, R Trio, out of the state of Texas. Trying to figure out what's going on down there, in the big old state of Texas. So far, it sounds pretty good. Got Governor Abbott in control of everything. He's not trying to make people line up to take the jab. You're free to walk around. Your gas is only $3 a gallon. Hey, Texas is sounding pretty good, bro. I mean, the brothers are doing all right in Texas, huh?
Yes, and we're getting a lot of people from California moving here.
You're probably looking at the freeway, and there's probably like a line of U-Hauls, huh?
Yeah.
So now let me ask you a question. That's a good point that you're bringing up, that a lot of people from California are moving to Texas. When those U-Hauls stop to get gas, what do the people look like getting out of them? Are they all white? Are there some blacks in there? Are there Latinos? What's going on?
You will see a mixture of everything. I've been seeing a lot of white people, black people as well, Hispanic people. I think anyone just who truly love freedom usually would come to Texas.
Okay, fair enough. Now, see, that's another one of those conundrums. You got people moving to Texas because they're tired of the oppression here in the country of California. They're tired of all the crazy regulations and the crazy leadership. Why is it, or how is it, as we said in the earlier part of the show, African Americans continue to still vote Democrat, yet you see this great exodus, yet you see the difference in how blacks are living in Texas versus New York. Help me out here, our trio. I mean, what's going on?
I feel, it's kind of, I guess I'll compare it, say, with a person who racist is. He grew up in that family household. Sometimes he take on the values of what his mama and daddy had. And I feel it's the same way, with Democrats. A lot of us grew up that, hey, Republicans are racist. They don't like black people. And Democrats are for the black people. And that's the mindset a lot of us have. So I feel as when you vote for someone, you should look up what they truly are going to do for you in the black community, not just because they're a Democrat or they're Republican. Just look into people's true agendas
and see what's what, right? Well, that's truer said than done, our trio. That's very well, considered on your part, and thank you for that. But when you look at our community, and I say our community because we're both African American males. I mean, you're in Texas, I'm in California, but we're still in the same state, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
What do we? Did you hear what Magic Johnson said about the jab? Have you heard his position?
Yes, I think I heard him said he wouldn't put his teammates at risk like that.
Yeah, that's what my man said. What's your thoughts on that?
I feel it's all about perspective. I'm pretty sure in his mindset, he feel like he is doing a righteous thing by protecting his teammates by getting vaccinated. Which that's his choice. I feel it's your choice to get vaccinated or not get vaccinated. But I feel you shouldn't enforce your opinion on the next person. And if the vaccine were as good as they claim it did, as long as you vaccinated, you should be good, right?
You should be, right?
But obviously that's not how it works.
I just find him to be a curious spokesperson for the vaccine, given the fact that this man was the poster child for HIV. I don't know how, if you remember that when he was playing basketball, the man had AIDS. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
And so there he is, and I'm not trying to be explicit or even disrespectful. It is just a fact. This man is running around, doing his thing and going home to his wife and exposing her to the potential of AIDS and all other type of, issues that can come from, sexual contact. And yet today he says, I want you to get the jab because I wouldn't put my teammates through that. What I get from that is your teammates mean more to you than your wife does or did. And if I was Cookie, I think I'd be a little upset at this man right about now. See what I'm saying? Huh?
Understand your perspective. I said I definitely understand your perspective on that.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the part that irks me when they go up in there and they grab some of these black celebrities, you know, whether it's an athlete or a musician or whatever, you know, and have them come in front of us and try to guide us into the you know, the corral. Basically, we ain't getting enough black people vaccinated. They got to get vaccinated too. We got a lot of reasons, a whole lot of reasons why we're not messing with that vaccine. One of which, and again, this is, you know, this is me speaking. I hope to have 2 doctors on the show on Friday, and I'm gonna put the question to them so that the audience can hear it from a medical perspective too. But I understand that there was real gain of function regarding COVID. So if they're trying to actually make this thing and control this thing, the next step is, I also heard that it can be weaponized to go after certain races. Have you heard about that? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, yes, sir. I know in the earlier on stages of COVID, before you know it made it to America, you know, I listen to conspiracy theories because a lot of them turn out to be true. So I kind of do my research when I hear things, but I do listen.
You know that meme. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to add that meme to it, and then do continue. But there's a meme that floats around that says your friend that you used to call a conspiracy theorist was just somebody who knew the truth and cared enough to tell you.
Right. You're definitely right about that. So I feel the agenda is, you know, it's all about control and money. So they pushing the vaccine because, you know, the pharmaceutical companies make money. And if they can target a certain, you know, race of people or a certain demographic of people to push their agendas, I'm pretty sure that's what they plan on doing and will do.
There it is. There it is. You know, now I want to share this with you because we haven't talked in a little bit. Maybe you saw it on my page and whatnot. Yours truly contracted COVID-19, bruh.
Yes, sir. And I'm happy you got over it because my brother as well, he was at the deep end. He was on the ventilator and everything.
Was he able to come off of the ventilator?
Sir, he came off of it. He off of it
Thank
today,
God.
breathing and everything. But he was on the deep end. They didn't expect him to make it.
Yeah, I was touch and go too. I mean, the doctors kind of looked at me and said, "You're going to have to work your way through this, you know, because right now we can't call it. We don't know what's going on." But I will say, for 2 reasons. One is he's your fam, you know what I mean, and I'm glad he made it. But I'm also glad to hear that somebody who went on the ventilator actually made it, because whether it's urban legend or whether there's a lot of fact to it, the belief is that once you go on the ventilator, you know, it's a wrap.
Yes, sir. And that's usually the case. He one of the. Don't quote me on the numbers, but I heard like 15% of people survive who go on the ventilator. So
yeah, it's pretty skinny, and that's, you know. So again, thank the Lord God for your brother's health. I thank the Lord God for my health. You know, that's why, you know, going forward, our trio, I think I want to try to see if we can do this at least once a month together. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
You know, because I made a deal with the Holy Spirit. You know how sometimes when your life is in trouble, you up there bargaining with God. Lord, if you just get me through this, if you can just help me make it, right? You know, I was sincere with it. I'm like, Lord God, if you have any further use for me, then let me stay, you know. But I'm prepared to go, and at least I get to see my mama, you know, and my other family members and be with the Lord if that's where I got to be. But one night during my episode, I turned a corner. I turned a corner. I could feel it like a giant just letting go of my chest. You know what I'm saying? With his spiky, it's like he had spikes in his hand, and he was just trying to squeeze the life out of me. And one night, about 5 a.m, I took a deep breath. It just came, you know. And I'm like, oh, I just might make it. And so here I am. Here we are. Back to doing what we were doing when COVID first started. Remember that show we did when COVID was just getting started?
Yes, sir.
You know, it's really interesting how, and I think I want to do a companion on that. I'm going to play the old show and enjoy the new show that we're doing today. But didn't we say even back then that COVID was going to hit the black community harder than anybody else?
Yes, sir.
You know, and so with that being said, how are the people in your community faring? Have you seen a lot of, people contract COVID? Have you seen anybody pass away from it? What's your view in Texas right now?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of people in the black community. So a lot of families lost a lot of loved ones.
I'm sorry to
So
hear that.
yes, sir. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I've been seeing it, and it did hit the black community harder than what people expected. I still didn't. A lot of people didn't take it serious. Like, oh, it's fake. COVID ain't real, or just still going out and interacting with people, and a lot of people didn't take it serious at first. But
They didn't take
I
it
think,
seriously enough. Now, when we get back, we're going to continue on that topic, which is the black community and COVID and our casualties on that. But again, the show is moving along really nicely. I'm glad you came on, but we have to take a station break right now. So this is Ken Whitehorse of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we'll be right back after these messages.
You are listening to the Southside Unicorn Show, hosted by my friend, Ken White. He'll be back after these messages.
When I see a new broadcast from the Southside Unicorn, I can't wait to listen to it. You just never know what he's going to say.
Hey, it's your boy Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we are back for the third segment of Visiting with Our Trio, a conversation with our trio. Glad to have him as a guest today. This young man has his own show, Our Trio, and on his show he poses 3 questions each time on his show. Our Trio, I think because it's your show, you can explain it better than I can. Tell the people about your show.
okay, well, on our trio, I always say it's about the triple E's: educating, empowering, and entertaining. So I try to wrap that all up in one because I don't want to be too bored and just lecturing all day. So I try to make it a little animated, entertaining. But basically, each topic gonna be about 3 different subjects. Usually educational. Sometimes it be a little funny, but it's still educational, and it got a deeper meaning to it at the end of the day.
There it is. And how can people find that show?
It's on YouTube, so you just go to YouTube and type in our trio, and I'm gonna be the first one to pop up until YouTube say otherwise.
Yeah, I noticed you said that in one of the other segments. You said, you're still on. Now, why would you think that YouTube would want to try to handle you? From my perspective, you're touching on the topics that they kind of want to push. I'm not saying, because I don't believe that in the least bit. If you were like a air quotations race peddler, you and me wouldn't even be talking right now. You know what I'm saying? You are not a race peddler. But I do see that a lot of your topics hail from an Afrocentric perspective. You would think that YouTube would be all about that. I don't know if you're subject to being canceled, but you seem to think so. Why?
Well, I haven't had any videos taken down, so I'm all about
I
that.
have.
I put on YouTube usually the truth. I had it, certain places they said I have to take this part of the video out. But on
Mm,
Twitter, I had, my account suspended for good. So I
what?
kind of, like when you pushing the truth, sometimes, at
They
the
ain't
end of
feeling
the
it.
day, social media sites can
So
be
wait a
deceiving.
minute. What evidently, and check me if I'm wrong, but what I feel is happening is you probably made a video that kind of attacked the white Democrat. Did you hit out on a white Democrat in one of your videos?
No, it wasn't a white Democrat video. To be honest, I'm not sure why Twitter banned me. I haven't had no explanation. It just said I went against the policy. So
Well,
I'm not.
you know what? I ain't trying to mess with you, but I say this much then. it could be because you happen to be affiliated with a certain brother from California. Just saying. You know what I mean? Because if the truth got out there, our trio, they don't want people hearing the Southside Unicorn Show. Because we do it just like you and I are doing it right now. We keep it intrinsically real. We're balanced about it. Because as you said yourself in earlier segments, you didn't even bother voting this time because you wasn't down for Biden, but you couldn't pull the trigger on Trump. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. You couldn't vote for Trump, and I really would like to get into that one. But before we get into that question, I want to finish where we were at in the second segment. You said that blacks in Texas and in the black communities weren't treating COVID-19 with the deadly respect that it deserves. I, being a survivor of COVID-19, let me tell you, it's real. It ain't no conspiracy theory. It's real. And it's also real mean, just like the people who made it. But now, I recall watching in Texas where young blacks were actually still holding house parties. What do you know about that?
Yes, sir. At the time, I can recall, the police going through and shutting down block parties and parties all the time. Like a lot of people wasn't taking it serious. They thought it was fake. It wasn't real. So not to say that people still wouldn't contract COVID, but I feel the numbers wouldn't been as high if people took it more serious.
True story. But now when you look at Texas, the way Governor Abbott is doing things, Texas and Florida, which you got DeSantis out there in Florida, Abbott and DeSantis, I'm understanding that your COVID numbers are coming down. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. From what I understand, it's coming down. From what I heard, once you get immune to it, once it runs its course natural, they say that's better than vaccine. And I'm pretty sure, I came in contact with COVID. I just haven't caught it. Or if I have, I'm asymptomatic. Because, once everyone had it, I'm pretty sure I've been places where people had it before. So I think once it runs naturally, we will eventually build our own mutation.
Exactly. I had the fortune after going through my course of COVID-19, I did meet with some doctors, and they said, "Hey, you're golden. You survived it. Now, your body is going to deal with any COVID, particles differently." Again, these are questions that I'm going to also ask the doctors that I have the privilege of having come on to the show on Friday. If you can make it, our trio, I'm going to go ahead and open that door up for you to be here so you can ask them some questions too. But these two doctors actually quit, bro. They quit their profession. I would say quit their job, but being a doctor ain't no damn job. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's a profession. That's a career for life. They almost spend the first third of their life just going to school? Yes, sir. So to me, for a doctor to walk away from their practice, from their chosen field, it's got to be pretty serious. So we're going to have them on the show on Friday, a show that you don't want to miss because, again, these people, these patriots, believe so strongly in the jab, or so strongly against the jab, that they actually resigned from their chosen profession. Quite interesting there. Your brother had COVID. He ended up on the ventilator, and thank the Lord he's okay. Any friends, any coworkers? What's happening there?
As far as friends, I had a few friends who caught it. Theirs wasn't nothing serious, they didn't have to go to the hospital or anything. As far as in the work environment, I know a few guys caught it and passed away.
Wow. They contracted COVID and they're gone.
Yes, sir.
I'm
And the
sorry to
same
hear
way,
that.
brother job as well, which that might where he contracted it at, but there's a lot of people out there that died as well who had COVID. So
Yeah,
the workplace, a lot of people dying in the workplace. So I definitely can understand why a lot of people are kind of hesitant of going back.
That's what I'm saying. I remember what you said in the earlier segment, which is the reason only half the workforce is returning is the money is janky and you can possibly contract COVID while at work. It makes sense to me. But right now, as it goes, you don't see anybody or know anybody that's actively dealing with it?
At the moment now, my brother, he's still not fully 100.
Oh
But
no.
he's over it now. So I
When
don't know.
when did he contract COVID? What month?
I'm thinking it was in August.
Same here. Same here. I contracted mine somewhere around the 29th of September, and the doctors tell me that even now it's going to take a while for me to be 100 again. I'm a lot better than I was, but for a while you're still trying to breathe. You're sucking buttermilk in the weeks after you are allegedly okay. Tell your brother I said hi and praying for him. It looks like we have that in common, that August was our month that we got hit. It's going to be a while. From what the doctor told me, you can kind of write this year off of thinking that you're 100. You might not, it's going to be about a 3 to 6 month process before you're just like totally okay again. Okay, so let him know I said that.
I would.
Now, last night, or was it the night before? I'm trying to remember now. I came on your page because I go in there often. I really enjoy your content. You have good content. You bring up some interesting points that do bear discussion. I sometimes wonder, and not you in particular, just anybody, when they bring up things from the African American past, and I shouldn't say African American past, from America's past, because our past is still everybody else's too. They played a part in it one way or the other. Maybe you can expand on the posting that you did. We got about 3 minutes before the next segment, but you posted about a African American woman who had a rather large derriere. What's going on with that? What's the story with that? Do you recall?
Yes, sir. She was. I don't think she was American. I think she was South African.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, they say they had the woman on display in Paris for a long time. Mummified her and everything. Because back in the day, I guess seeing big butts was something amazing. So kind of like a freak show museum, and they had her body on display for like 100 years. And I think it was Nelson Mandela that finally got her body back from, Paris, and brought her back to South Africa to have a proper burial after all them years of being displayed in the museum.
And this display of this woman was in the nude, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was.
Wow. Now, when she was alive, did they have her on display as well, or was that post-mortem? Did they do that after she, passed away?
It was post-mortem. From what I heard, while she was alive, she was repeatedly raped and had so many diseases because
Oh,
that life of constantly being, I guess, a sex slave.
That's what she was?
Yes, from what I read, she was raped a lot. I don't know was she actually a sex slave, but she was repeatedly raped.
I'm sorry to hear that. And that's where you and I intersect, our trio. That's where the Southside Unicorn and our trio intersect. I understand that these are atrocities from our past. I understand that, it could appear, air quotes, it could appear that this is from a racist tangent. But it kind of loses its thrust, its point, when you consider the An twin, the Ang twins, who were two Asian Siamese twins. These men were put on display as well. When you consider the Elephant Man was white, and he also was put on display. So I wonder if we could view this as a racist thing, or if that's just the way things were back in those days. And that's the point I try to bring forth when you and I discuss the same topic. I see your point. I feel for her. But at the same time, these same things happen to people from other races. So when you posted that, was that to say, look at what they've done to black people, or look at what they've done to her?
It was more on a thing to educate on what what happened back in the day. 'Cause a lot of it don't get talked about in the history books. So I feel if you're gonna talk about the past, you're gonna have to talk about it all. You can't just pick and choose like, hey, we're gonna just tell the good part or the bad part. Just tell everything.
Yeah, because to be honest, you enlightened me. I did not realize that this woman has suffered in that way. And there's millions of people, untold millions, that have been abused and mistreated throughout our history, possibly because of their race. We'll talk more about that in the fourth segment coming up. We'll have to take a station break. We'll be right back after these messages. Go nowhere.
Hey, my name is Toot Sweet, and I'm New York City's original artist, singing for the cause of freedom. I've spent the last 10 years of my life documenting history through my music. It's like a recipe that's blessing me, bringing out the best of me, aggressively testing me to create my own destiny and understanding, universally accepting adversity and learn more lessons in life than you'll learn in any. And when I'm in need of a dose of reality to escape the liberal land of make-believe, I tune in to the Southside Unicorn, where the truth is as solid as New York City concrete. My name is Toot Sweet, and you're listening to my friend Ken White on the Southside Unicorn, and this party is just getting started.
It's Joy Villa, and I'm reminding you to tune in to the Southside Unicorn Show, hosted by my friend Ken White.
Do just what you want. You're the one I trust. I belong to you.
Hey, it's your boy Ken White, and we are back for the fourth and final segment of our visit with my friend, our trio. Our trio has given us some really good insight on some of the issues of the day and some of the things that are going on in Texas in particular. When we left off in the third segment, we were talking about some of the ways and styles of the content of the Our Trio show. As he said, you have to tell the whole story, not just a little bit, not just, some. And I want to go back to that into this next segment, Our Trio, having said this. That woman suffered. You could see it. You could tell that's a great suffering. Thank you for posting it. If you notice, I did my own little op-ed to your post last night. But I wouldn't have any material if you didn't do that, so thank you for that. I just want to say, this Our Trio is why I'm opposed to reparations. I know people go, wait a minute, Kenny, what are you talking about? That's exactly why we should get reparations. It's because of, stories like the one you shared last night. And I say, it's because of stories like that you can't give me no money. There's no dollar amount you're going to give me that even comes close to atoning for the atrocities that our people have suffered throughout the years. What say you, Our Trio?
Yes, sir. I remember we talked about this a while back on the show. Inspiration. I feel that it's things you can do to not pay back, because of course you're not going to be able to pay back something of that, on the scale that big, because with interest, it's gonna go up after all that time. So America's bankrupt trying to pay us back. So of course they're not going to be able to do that, but as I said before, I feel you should just treat people with respect. Maybe just be a little bit more kinder to the people around you. Like, you understand the history that happened back in the day. Of course, a lot of people got the mindset of, hey, that was my granddaddy, that was my great granddaddy. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That was 400 years ago. Get over it. Like, we got to get over it mindset in America. They pick and choose what they want us to get over. Wait
a minute. Wait, stop right there. What do you mean white people pick and choose what they want us to get over? Expand on that. I mean, I don't.
I feel it's something tragic happened. Before I say like the World War II,
Mm-hmm.
the concentration camps. When the Jewish people constantly talk about, Adolf Hitler and remember the Holocaust and everything,
Never
it's like,
forget. Never forget.
that's
Yeah.
right. It's like, which it was a bad thing that happened, but that wasn't the only Holocaust that happened. And it's always never forget, never forget. But when you talk about slavery and all this, it's kind of like, that was years ago. You never was a
Forget
slave.
about it, right?
Like get over it. It's not affecting you anymore. You free. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the mindset in America when it comes to, things that happened in the past is get over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
When it comes to the black community, is that what you're saying?
right. In the black community, we have to deal with a lot of stuff. It's like, say you from Chicago, right? I'm
That's
pretty
right.
sure you seen people get shot every day. And that do something to the mindset of seeing that. Like seeing people get killed or having to deal with racism, like, but they expect us just to get over it and be okay.
You know what, Artrio, you said a lot right there, bruh. Because when you are 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old, the things I saw growing up in Chicago, a child is not supposed to see that stuff. Those aren't supposed to be the issues of a child, but they were my issues, and I'm sure they were the issues of many other people. Having said that, I think that mental health is a very important thing. It's a very real thing. It's something that really needs to be looked at in the African American community, especially in these war-torn cities like Chicago. Um, I was in my 40s before I realized I had picked up some damage from growing up in Chicago. I made myself believe I was okay. So I just want to expand on that with what you brought up. You're right. The black experience is a little different than most. We're literally hit with PTSD by the time we're 15 years old.
Right. It's like someone who just came back from war. So we have to see it every day. A lot of people don't see, someone get shot or someone get killed till they go overseas, but we can go outside and see it.
Right there on the spot. And so that was one of the things that I have to say we have to address in our own community. You're right. There is a Holocaust still going on with African Americans. It's just too bad that most of the people behind the trigger happen to be, black as well. I don't know how that's working for you all in Texas. Are you having gang problems, rampant shootings? Is there a city in Texas that has the same kind of numbers as Chicago?
Well, I don't know about Chicago, but
Yeah, it's
uh,
hard to compete with Chicago. I know.
I don't know about Chicago, but I'm 45 minutes away from Dallas, and it's just as bad. You got guys killing each other over nothing.
Wow.
A lot of rappers, they beefing back and forth with each other, killing people.
Hmm.
Um, Rapper down here named Mo3, he was killed not too long ago. They caught him on the highway, and
Took him out, huh?
yeah,
Man, that album must have been hot.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I know I sound kind of mockish or doing a bit of mockery. I'm sorry the young man is dead, but anymore when I hear the word rapper, in my head, in my heart, it's a rap. I don't know rap, no crap. You see what I'm saying? I've had it with that. Rap started off with like PM Dawn and all these guys, Sugar Hill Gang, Rappers Delight. It was supposed to be a form of lyrical entertainment. And now look what's happened to it. I mean, it may as well be a bag of yayo the way these young rappers are treating each other and the way they're doing that. I'm really disappointed to hear that. Man, it's too bad. So going forward into the new America, do you think things are going to get better or worse for Black Americans
I think things will get worse before they get better, but I eventually think things will get better.
in our lifetime, or are we going to deal with some stuff?
I hope so, but the way it's looking, man, our great grandkids might have it better than us. But I hope we can reap some of the benefits of seeing things get better. But it seems like it's so far away, but I think things will eventually get better. It probably get worse before it get better, but it's gonna get better.
You have a really nice, attitude on life, our trio. It's refreshing to see a young person like you out there. I'm glad that you're, producing your 3 points on your show. People, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to listen to those, and actually you can build from them, because he does bring up period information that otherwise you might not see. Maybe that's why Twitter was like, we got to get this brother out of here. You know what I mean? He trying to spit the truth. We don't want nobody on our page that talks the truth. We just want you to be woke. So maybe, you know what I'm saying? They love you when you woke. If you woke, it's all good. I was hoping we could get into Cardi B's party and the young lady that wore that purple atrocity, but we've kind of run out of time. And what I normally like to do when I'm honored to have a guest on the show, I like to give you the last minute of the show, and we're getting very close to that. So we got 1 minute left, our trio, and the minute belongs to you.
I would just like to say, I thank you for having me on the show. I remember when, we first started having segment, I was like, you know what, let's do a video chat. You like, nah, I don't do videos, we're going to keep it straight, boy. So to see you now starting to make YouTube videos and everything, getting more comfortable with the camera, it's good to see.
Well, you know what they say, iron sharpens iron, right? And even though I'm a little bit older than you, you're never too old to learn from somebody. And I love to incorporate from people that I see out there doing good stuff. And you, good sir, young man, are out there doing some good stuff. You're the one that basically made me start jumping in front of this camera. You're absolutely right. Everything I used to do, and in fact, ladies and gentlemen, check that out. You'll see that before our trio, most of my stuff was audio, but now you can see me quite clearly. Our trio, we got to do this again at some other point, some point forward, maybe once a month. Can we get a commitment on that?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Outstanding. And again, I'll send you an invite to the show that's coming up on Friday, where I have 2 doctors who actually resigned their practice rather than take the jab. That'll be coming up this Friday. So again, thank you, our trio, for coming on. And this is me saying, there's no place I'd rather be. There's nothing more I'd rather do than being right here doing this show for you. This is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we are out.